video.
ಜೂತೆ ನೀರು ಎಲ್ಲಿದಾಗ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ
ಆಯ್ತಾ Where is this called?
Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to one and all. I am Ruxana, student of IFAM School, and I will be your host for today. For the ongoing series of Health Shots, Your Daily Dose of Gyan. This session is a part of a greater cause, Kanyathon. Kanyathon is an annual charity run organized by the students of our prestigious IFAM institution, Vijayabhumi University, and Jackson. This year, we are back with its 11th edition. The mission of Kanyathon is to empower women and girls. We plan to achieve this through our own education center called Kanyathon Shiksha Kendra. We have raised more than 48 lakhs in donation for the cause, adopted 5 villages in Kolar, and have touched more than 3,000 lives. This wouldn't have been possible without our sponsors and partners. Breakfast partner Unique, nutrition partner Yoga Bar, snacks partner Licious, energy drink partner Red Bull, NGO partner Cry, electronics partner Baron Electronics, skin and hair partner Cosmoderma. Peace begins when the expectation ends, quoted by Buddha. But we are no Buddha. So what is peace? How do we lead a life of peace in a world where chaos is the only normal? Leading a life of peace is a dream many of us die seeking. To answer our questions and to be the beacon of light, we are honored to have Miss Deepa Rao Acharya as our speaker. This will be followed by a help us quiz based on the conversation. The person who uploads the first correct answer to the question on the Instagram page gets amazing goodies and prizes. Deepa Rao Acharya is a writer, entrepreneur. She has donned various hats as a Times of India journalist, TV and Bollywood scriptwriter, short story writer, and content creator. Her first book, Lit Spirit, came out recently and is in the spiritual fiction genre. Her, her event management company, Lit Spirit, is tied up with her foundation, which aims to bring about social transformation through awareness. Its goal is to equip the younger generation with self transformative and coping mechanisms. We are waiting for Deepa Rao ma'am to join. As soon as she joins, we'll.
Um, Ruxana, I'm here.
Okay. Hello, ma'am. I'm so sorry.
Hello, no problem.
Yes. So, ma'am, I would really like you to speak to our audience and please give us insight on the topic leading a life of peace.
Thank you, Ruxana. Thank you so much. That was a lovely introduction, and I love to see, how you've turned out a beautiful, poised young woman. And my experience, leading up to this with all of you has been so wonderful. You've all been very courteous, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you before we begin. Hello, everyone. I hope I'm audible and I can be seen. Ruxana, could you help
Yes,
me?
ma'am, you're audible and you're seen.
Okay. So I think before I start, I would like to talk a little bit about why this topic means so much to me, inner peace. But also, if you see the second part of the topic, it says that leading a life of success plus satisfaction. Because while I believe that inner peace is extremely important in our life, I believe that I'm also a karma yogi, and I work very hard for all that I have in my life. So I believe that success is also important. It's not like you have to give one up for the other, but they are actually mutually compatible. So that is going to be my approach today. I have been on the spiritual path for many decades now. And I would like to share that when I was doing programs in the late 1990s, all over India, I would attend these life coaching programs, spiritual programs, and all of that. Very often, I would keep hearing from speakers, like very, very high profile speakers, gurus and life coaches and mentors who would address even the United Nations and WHO, the World Health Organization. And they would keep saying, almost like a warning, that WHO predicts that by the year 2020, depression is going to be the largest pandemic the world has ever seen. Ironically, 2020 today we know as another year as well. We know it as the year the pandemic hit. And strangely enough, the pandemic actually exacerbated mental illness and depression. It poured through light on it because more and more people were going through mental health issues. Maybe they already had it, or maybe the pandemic made things worse. But all said and done, today statistics tell us that somewhere between 300 to 350 million people around the world face depression in their lives. And to me, this is a very shocking revelation. The number is phenomenal. About 350 million unable to live a life of peace, unable to live a life of joy. That is a real tragedy, I feel, in the modern times that we live in. So that is why this topic matters a lot to me. Now, like I said, we all of us want mental peace. We all want inner peace. We all are living a life of so much stress and so much chaos, and the times are so challenging. But I believe inner peace. Okay, so all of you come from a corporate background, right? And I'm assuming that most of you here today are extremely practical people. You're very wise people. You're very realistic people. Now, tell me something. Being realistic and practical, we all know that in life there is no such thing as a free lunch, for example, right? In life, things that we have, we need to work for. We need to be sincere towards it. So then my point here is, we work for the material things we have. We work, towards relationships. We work towards so many things in life. Why can't we also work on our inner selves and work towards, being more peaceful within? I truly believe that is truly possible. Like I said earlier, there's nothing wrong with success. It is very important to live a life of success these days. You have to be materially stable. But alongside that, why not also work towards living a life of peace? So that is my point today, that there are so many tools at our disposal today, where we can actually work on ourselves and live such a life. I also went through phases where I focused so much on my external success when I was younger. But I realized that the more I chased, the mirage that was the material world, be it wealth, fame, success, all of that, it's only till a point. But after a point, you start to feel very shaky from within. You start to feel fearful from within. You start to feel that there is something hollow or empty in you, And for me also, like I'm sure for many of you, that was the starting point to get me on this path, that why cannot I lead a more holistic life, a life where both are balanced. And the moment I started to do that, my life started to grow beautiful inside and out. And now I come to my next point. Okay, before I go to my next point, I would like to draw a little parallel. Um, earlier I used to live in Bombay, and I would all the time read about, these buildings collapsing. Unfortunately, today we also hear these things, read about these things in Bangalore all the time. That, there is this beautiful new building built so well. It looked so gorgeous from outside. So many people have bought apartments over there, but literally a few months old, this building has collapsed. Now, why do these things happen? We know that it's because people are cutting corners. They are not, they're not concentrating on the literal foundation of the building. They want to make a quick buck, make profits, so they don't focus on the basics. The foundation is, not done properly, and just some high rise comes up, and then suddenly it comes crumbling down. Similarly, we also hear of so many people, being stressed, or they are burning out, or they are literally collapsing. They are burning out to such an extent that they're collapsing inside out. So that is, again, because if a building's foundation is not strong, it will come crumbling down. It is the same with us human beings. If our inner foundation, our roots, what is within is not strong, there is a very high possibility that we will also, face such setbacks. God forbid, but, it is highly possible, which is what we are seeing in the world around us today. So that said, I would like to introduce, the tools that I will be speaking about by talking about two things which are very dear to my heart. I think these two things pretty much run the universe, but we don't really give much thought to these things, which are the building blocks of the universe. These two things are, one is energy and one is breath. So I will start with talking about energy, and I will also talk about why I am speaking about all this. Because, okay, to give you a little introduction, I believe that, we are what we attract, and we attract what we are. So that is why energy is important. And in my life, in my spiritual path, the tools that I have pursued, the workshops that I have done, I have seen that when I have changed my own energy, I have not had to chase things. I have had to just work on being calm from within, just doing my work in a detached manner, and whatever is meant for me, I attract that without really chasing it. So this is why I think energy is so very important. And to talk about its importance, let me quote somebody who I respect very much. Uh, have you all heard of a person called Nikolai Tesla? Is it okay? Can someone put this in the chat? Have you heard of Nikolai Tesla? Anyone? The name is very popular today. Great. Masum Abbas, thank you. He says, yes, he's heard of Nikolai Tesla. Suman says yes too. I'm so glad. So before I go on to a little bit about who Nikolai Tesla is, let me share with you one of my all-time favorite quotes. Nikolai Tesla said and wrote that if you want to know or find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibrations. This is what he said. And he is no ordinary man. Wonderful. Many of you here know him. Anjali knows about him as well. Of course, the famous car Tesla, Elon Musk was inspired by Nikolai Tesla, and that's why it is named that. Tesla was a visionary, someone far ahead of his time, an electrical engineer. He's also the person behind the AC and DC currents. This is just among just a few things that he's achieved. For a person of that intellectual and mental caliber to say that to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, I have always found that truly, truly, truly phenomenal. So, that is for me a little bit about energy. And the second thing is breath. Now, tell me something. We tend to forget that, if we don't breathe, we will actually die, right? But we so easily dismiss our breath. We hardly ever pay any attention to breath. So these are the two things which will sort of be the underpinning or linchpin things for, all the tools that I'm sharing today. Again, when we talk about energy, I would like you all to visualize. Please close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath and just visualize a giant tap in the sky, just like the tap that gives you your water. So you're visualizing a giant tap in the sky. Now imagine that the tap is opening and that tap is pouring out energy, however you want to visualize energy. Okay? And you are receiving it. Now tell me something. Okay, you can open your eyes now. Thank you for that. Tell me something. If you place a tiny tumbler under a tap, or you place a massive vat, right? The amount of water the tap will give you will depend on how ready you are to receive and how large your receptacle is, right? Same thing with energy. Think of it as a giant tap in the sky because we are surrounded by a sea of energy. And we are all connected to one another. We are all connected to it, the source. That is the source of all things. And the smaller your receptacle, that is all the energy you will receive. But if you work on yourself, if your connection with that energy, with the cosmos, whatever you want to call it, your creator, the more you work on it, the more you, open up your consciousness, your being, who you are to that energy, the more you will receive, right? You can go from being a little tumbler to like the vast ocean. That is how much energy is there to receive. So energy can be such a term that is bandied about. To make it a little bit real, can you please cooperate in another little exercise? Can you all just place your palms facing each other? I can see Ruxana, thank you. Okay, now all of you, just manipulate your palm, go close, but don't touch, just go close, each palm, one palm close to the other, come out, go in again, come out, go in, do it very mindfully, very consciously. Now, do this like a train wheel, circular. Now the other way around, clockwise and anti-clockwise. Can you feel anything between your palms? Anyone? Can you feel anything? Can you please put it in the chat? Can you feel anything? Warmth, magnetic force. Yes, wonderful. Just the right terms I'm seeing. I'm so happy. Yes, several people are feeling something. Yes, yes. So everything that you're feeling, the warmth, the current, the magnetic force, a repelling force, that is energy. I mean, that is as real as it gets. Okay, so it is not something that is up in the air. It's something extremely real. All of us, from me to you, to this table and laptop in front of me, it is all literally energy. Okay, so that makes energy a little bit real for us, right? I hope so. So I explained to you why energy is important. Thank you, Payal. And you've all of us have experienced a little bit of this energy. If we have time in the end, we can also do a little exercise, to sort of visualize and feel this energy within us. But now that we've spoken a little bit about this, I would now like to go on to breath, the other underpinning thing, for us to achieve inner peace and to find that balance of success and satisfaction. So now if changing our energy and vibrating at a higher level of energy draws good things our way, breath is one of the mechanisms also to help us with that. Now, to give you a little bit of introduction about the breath, before that, can we all just feel our breath, for like a few moments? If we can, I do hope you don't mind. I will, through the session, make you do these little bit of exercises, but trust me, they will help you and hopefully you can use them in the future as well. Very short exercises. So if all of you can please close your eyes once again. Request you all to take a few deep breaths and focus only on your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Just continue this for a few moments. You can open your eyes now. So can anyone tell me what they experienced when doing the breathe in, breathe out? Anything specific anyone would want to share? Any thoughts? I hope people are out of the breathing meditation now. Okay, so one of the first things, I don't see anything here, but usually, when we ask people to do this, what most people do not note is the simple mechanism of the breath, which is that ideally, especially when people do yoga or pranayam, they notice this. When you breathe in, your belly must come out. When you breathe out, your belly must go in. That is kind of full body breathing. Ideally, that is what your body and your breath should be doing for you, even when you're not conscious of your breath. But anyway, this exercise was just a little bit showing a little gratitude to your breath and to just bring you to your center you and bring you to your breath and your your inner self. That's all it was about. But I would like to say a little bit about breath and why it is so very important in living a meaningful life. Of course, other than the fact that when we don't breathe, we don't exist. But breath does so much more than just keep us alive. And this is a fact. This is well researched, well documented, not just by our ancient yogis and masters and, by all of our religions, but today it is being documented in so many various ways around the world, the importance of our breath. To begin with, our breath is a bridge between our body, mind, and soul. When we speak of holistic wellness, what is it? We talk about aligning body, mind, and soul. The breath is literally a bridge between all of this. Not just that, your breath is also a bridge between yourself and your higher self. You want to call it the divine, you want to call it the source, God, whatever you want to call it. We are all secular here, so I wouldn't take names. But it connects you to your higher self, to the higher source. Also, your breath is a bridge between your conscious and your subconscious mind. There are breathing exercises and techniques which literally help you go within. It helps you to weed out, whatever subconscious traumas you may have, which, for example, may be stopping you from really succeeding in life, maybe, or maybe being wealthy in life, or maybe, having fulfilling relationships. Whatever it may be, a lot of it which is hidden in our psyche only comes out through certain, breathing techniques, certain advanced techniques. This is not just a fact, it's something I've personally experienced in my life as well. And I must add that everything I'm sharing with you all today, I would not like it at all to be like, I'm just speaking anything bookish. No, I'm just speaking from my heart and soul in a very humble way. And these are personal experiences that I've had in life. And because I have benefited, I want all my fellow human beings to benefit. That is all there is. And I have personally seen that my breath has helped me identify a lot of traumas and hidden things in me, which were handicaps and not allowing me to move forward. So that is one more function your breath plays. And now, trust me, a lot of people get shocked by this little factoid, but your breath is the best detox mechanism you could ever hope for. Only about 80% of toxins in your body are taken out through, means like sweat and urine and things like that. Actually, 80 to even 85% of toxins, be it physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever toxins are come out of your body using your breath. So that, I think that one little factoid will tell you just how important breath is for all of us. So now that I've given you a little backgrounder on breath, can we do a little exercise now? This is something you can carry home with you and, which will help you connect to your breath. And why breath again is important given what we are talking about today. The moment you connect with your breath truly, the amount of tremendous joy and peace that you feel, it is inconceivable that, I have never experienced that any other way. It's only been, through breath and through connection with a higher source. These are the two things that have always really helped me to, be grounded and be peaceful. So 40 breaths, which we will go through now, is a little technique which will help you. It's part of a far more advanced, I would say, breathing technique called rebirthing breath work, which I practice. But since we don't have time, let's go through this little 40 breath. So I will show you how it goes. And after I do it, all of you can, repeat after me. Just give me half a minute to show you. Now, this is called CCB, which is continuous connected breathing. Okay. Continuous because, you breathe in a pattern where you don't let go of your breath. It's one continuous cycle. Connected because there is no pause between your inhalation and your exhalation. Usually, when we are going through something traumatic, for example, or we undergo a shock, what happens? We go like that, right? And our breath just stops. There's a pause. So this breathing, there are no pauses. Okay. So can we try it? I'll show you 10 counts. And then after that, we'll do the 40 breaths together. So you all could see and hear me? 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth breath was a little longer, but all connected. Okay, now I'll do 6, 7 till 10. Okay. Got it? So like this, we will do 40 breaths together. Can we do this? I will hold a count and breathe with you. Can we do it? Ready? All of you, please breathe. I know the mics are off. I think mine is on. So you can hear me, but it's just like that. 5 with the fifth being longer. I will count to 40. You don't have to worry about that. It takes just a minute. Can we all start now on the count of 3? Okay. 1, 2, 3. That was 40. Please keep your eyes closed for some time. And just keep your breathing relaxed, but still keep it continuous and connected. Okay, you can open your eyes now. Any thoughts on what you experienced during 40 breath, and any questions, please do ask now on the technique. Would anyone like to share in the chat how you're feeling after the 40 breaths? Calm, relaxing, peace or calmness. Yes, a bit relaxed, peace, fresh, calm. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that peace and calm are the two words that are, really emerging from this short session. So imagine this was just a simple technique. This literally takes you, it doesn't take you more than, say, for 1 minute, maybe 60 to 70 seconds. It's something, of course, you may not be able to do it outside, but you can always do it in your home, or, maybe in the office restroom, or before an important meeting, close your cabin and do it. And you can do 40 breaths several times a day. Anytime you feel agitated, you can do this. It brings your consciousness back to your breath. It connects you to your breath. It helps you to go within. It makes you experience inner peace. There are untold benefits. So this is, like I said, just a small exercise and so many benefits from it. So I think the breath itself is speaking for itself, telling you how important it is for you to achieve that inner calm. So now we've spoken about the two main things in brief, which is energy and breath. And once more, I would like to reiterate why I spoke about energy and breath first, is that these two things, when we focus on increasing our vibrations, our energy, we attract good things. And this leads to not just external success, but also inner peace. It's a package deal, because I would be the last one to say only go for inner peace, do not go for what the material world offers. No, for us to be effective, to function in this world today, we have to be both successful as well as satisfied people. So that is why these two tools. Now I hope I have 10 or 15 minutes, Ruxana, because I would like to. Okay, so I would, in the next 10, few 5 to 10 minutes, I would like to talk about a few tools which can help take you deeper on this path that, we've been speaking about. I will keep it brief, just, I'll give you the pointers and maybe a few short exercises. After that, we can go to the Q&A. Now, the first thing, okay, let me check if all of you are awake. What rhymes with the word attitude? Anyone? What rhymes with attitude? What do you think we're going to speak? Yes, thank you, Kamakshi. Gratitude, an attitude of gratitude. Thank you, Shrutika. So, gratitude. While, Oprah Winfrey, who's one of the most successful women on the planet, one of the richest women on the planet, but also deeply spiritual. So, this woman has said that the single greatest thing that you can do to change your life today would be to start being grateful for what you have right now. Be grateful for it. Somebody like her, Oprah Winfrey, has said this. That's how important gratitude is. And I'm Tulu. I don't know if any of you have heard of this language. And I realized one day when I was young that Tulu has no word for thank you. And I thought, oh my God, are we an ungrateful people that, we don't know how to even say thank you? Then I realized that the challenge with gratitude is gratitude has to be internalized. It has to be an energy, it has to be an emotion. It cannot just be a bland word, and then it can really change your life. So for that, can we do a little exercise to experience this? I'll tell you, research shows that grateful people are 25% more happier than the average person. Did you know that? The research actually substantiates this. And once in life, when I went through a very low phase, I had everything I could have asked for, and nothing, no problems. By God's grace, I had everything, but I would feel empty and low. And I read a lot of self-help books, and gratitude was the one word that kept popping out at me time and again. And I decided, let me keep a gratitude journal and let me see how this goes. And every day in my journal, I would just list 10 things I'm grateful for, whether it's an ice cream cone I had, whether it was being able to spend time with my pet, whether having a roof over my head, small things, big things. Over 1 month, not even a month, to be honest, a week, believe it or not, of doing this, I was a changed person. That's how much gratitude can help us. So let's do a simple exercise. Again, I would like you to close your eyes, all of you, and just think this thought. Dear God, I can't thank you enough for being there for me. Just this thought. Think it with passion and emotion and gratitude. Dear God, I can't thank you enough for being there for me. There are so many things we take for granted. We've been blessed with things we've not even asked for, things we just don't even think about that we have, whether it's food on the table, whether it's a roof over our heads, our family, our friends. Take a moment to feel grateful for all that you have. Please open your eyes. Are you feeling good, all of you? Feeling better than before the exercise, I hope? Please try and do this every day. Please try and maintain a gratitude journal, because thank you, Soumya. Yes, feeling better. So thank you, Mayank. Just this one thing truly can change our lives. And, when we do this, things externally also start to manifest for us. It's not a joke, but we start to manifest wonderful things for ourselves when we start to feel grateful just for what we have. And for once, just not think about things that are yet to come. They will come, in their time. But let's be grateful for what we have. One more little tool I'd like to share is being in the present moment. I wanted to do an exercise, but I don't know if you have time, for this. But when you go home, I would really like it if you can just take a thank you, Vatsalya. If you can take a few moments to just close your eyes, be in the present moment where, you just hear the sounds around you. You just tune into whatever is happening around you, and just a few moments of silence and being here and now. Because it is often said that people who live in the past are depressed. People who live in the future are anxious or fearful or worried. But people who live in the present, they are the Zen masters, right? They are the ones who are calm, centered, loving, compassionate. That is why the present is called a gift. It is truly a gift, and that is all we have. Past is gone. Tomorrow, we don't know what's to come. But right now is all we have. So that is one more little thing that I wanted to share, which has helped me. The next pointer, which I would love to share, is I would like to club two things here, which is meditation and silence. Okay. I know a lot of people get a little nervous about the word meditation, but surely silence doesn't scare anyone. Again, when you think of a very calm Zen person, do we think of them chattering? No, we think of them being in silence. And again, it has been proven that being in silence actually reduces your stress levels. It improves your heart rate. It stabilizes your BP. It has like a lot of medical benefits as well. So if you cannot really meditate, I would say, even if you're in the car, say somebody else is driving, just instead of listening to music or chatter or radio or getting on the phone, giving your monkey mind something to do. The mind is called a monkey mind, right? Because it wants to jump from one thing to the other. Just treat yourself to some silence, a few minutes of silence every day. Okay. And would anyone have any guess on how many thoughts an average human being has in a day? This, please, I would like you to put in chat. Any guesses? Very nice. Someone said 40,000. Someone said 100. Harish says infinite. Thank you. So 40,000 was the closest. Yes, we have anywhere between 30,000 to 70,000 thoughts in one single day. Okay. So it's a scary thought, because imagine if those thoughts gain mastery over you, you know. So meditation and silence, this is where they help you with both success and satisfaction, because they help you to gain mastery over your thoughts and your emotions. Okay. It's like a bridge that you have again to your subconscious mind. And this is where your intuition grows, which means you can make better business decisions, your creativity grows, you know, your effectiveness in everyday life, whether it's in personal life or professional life, grows. So it has a lot of practical benefits. And trust me, I'm not even skimming the tip of the iceberg. It is so much more deeper than that. So again, success and satisfaction, silence and meditation every day can actually help lead towards that. Now, my next point would be, okay, I have a few more to go. So I think I'll quickly finish these. And before we go on to the Q&A, I would also like to talk today about something called mudras. Have any of you heard of mudras? So mudras are literally gestures, okay? For example, okay, Soumya has heard of it. So this is a gesture, for example, okay? This is a mudra. When you see Buddha sitting like this, thumb to forefinger and meditating, it's a mudra, right? Today happens to be Shivaratri, of course, and I think Shiva is the Adi Yogi, he's the primary yogi. Often we see him also meditating, sitting in this pose, which is the Chin Mudra. So now mudras are it's a very ancient science. There's a lot of, again, research today, but it goes back thousands of years, actually, part of our civilization. I'll tell you in short, which is that mudras are certain gestures we make, which send signals to certain centers in our brain, which in turn send signals, direct the signals to certain parts of our body, which help us. So mudras can help us to heal diseases. They can help us to come out of stress, anger, whatever it may be, a lot of things. It can help you to be calm, happy, so many things, but it also helps with health. That's one of its primary benefits. And the two mudras that I would like to talk about today are Chin Mudra and Prithvi Mudra. But before I go into that, very briefly on mudras. Mudras are also your connection to the five elements. Now, why the five elements matter so much to us is because uh, I don't know how many of you are aware, but the five elements are literally the building blocks of the cosmos. Because you and I, we are made of the five elements. Just like a grain of sand, our complicated physiology is made of the five elements, but also a grain of sand is made of the five elements. So literally that oneness, that feeling of all of us being connected, comes from things like this. It comes from the fact that we all share the very same air, very same energy. It comes from the fact that we're all made of the same panchabhutas, you know, the five elements. So this is fire. This thumb is fire. At the tip of your thumb is fire. This index finger is air. The middle finger, tip of it is space or ether. Your ring finger, tip of it is earth. Your tiny finger, tip of it is water. So that covers all the five elements on both your palms, okay? So the reason why today I'm saying this is because this mudra, Chin Mudra, it has hundreds of benefits, but amongst one of the most important benefits is it calms you down, which is why when we do this, you know, in meditation, we usually keep this mudra, because those thoughts we spoke about, 30,000 to 70,000 thoughts, those scary number of thoughts actually come down when you do this. And it helps you be in the present moment. It helps you to, you know, calm yourself. So this, I would really recommend you do this every day for a few minutes. And Prithvi, which is ring finger, and this, because it connects you to Mother Earth. And now my last point, that was mudras. Now my last point would be cleansing your EEP, which helps again with inner peace. I would suggest that if, you know, EEP is called emotional energy pollution, which we pick up from people around us, from when other people are stressed, angry, whatever, you know, we tend to pick up on all of those things. So now for this, just a few tips I would recommend, which I share with my friends as well, which would be after your shower, just rinse yourself with rock salt, pink Himalayan rock salt. Keep it on for a few minutes, that water, and then rinse it off, okay, after a shower. Another thing would be spending time in nature. That's a no-brainer anyway, right? Another tip would be if you have the chance to sit in front of a bonfire please take that, take that opportunity, because fire also cleanses this and makes you very calm from within. And okay, so I'm now trying to rush through, but there's only one point left, which is a very, very simple one. I'm sure many of you follow this, but I would also suggest some very simple shifts in your everyday routines. For example, ending your day an hour earlier, for example, and creating like this energy ivory tower for yourself, where you end your day earlier and you're not taking unnecessary calls, going on social media, but rather, you're turning off your mobile data and Wi-Fi, just spending some me time alone. Just a simple thing like this would help. While you go to sleep, putting your phone in DND and on DND and switching off your Wi-Fi would help. In the morning, not switching on your phone for 1.5 hours if you're able to do that, but rather spend time in nature, spend time with yourself, alone time, silence that we spoke about. This would help. So these are just little things, tiny things, but which can have a huge impact on shifting our inner energy. So I think these were my tips. And like I said, it's all about shifting our energy to attract the best possible thing that we can, right? So that we are successful both on the outward plane as well as happy and satisfied within. So thank you for giving me the chance to speak. I think now over to Ruxana.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. So we started this webinar with a lot of questions. Hopefully this session has guided all of us to a path where we can find our own answers. Thank you so much, madam, for your insight and for being the inspiration you are. If the audience wants any question to be asked to madam, please write it in the chat box. I'll read it to her. Meanwhile, we have a question from our side now. So in your book and your company, which works for, building for self-transformation and having coping mechanisms, there are so many teenagers who build unhealthy coping mechanisms throughout the phase of their being a teenager to deal with life. So how can a teenager avoid having unhealthy coping mechanisms? And what can a person do who has already developed some unhealthy coping mechanisms but isn't really able to replace them with the good ones?
Okay, that's a very pertinent question, Ruxana. See, I think the reason why I started these wellness sessions for underprivileged children, when I started my foundation, it's because a little bit our education system can be lacking over here. Today, holistic health and wellness is such a buzzword all over the world. Yet, very background, maybe they're only taught academic subjects more often than not. I wouldn't say everywhere, but more often than not. For instance, a simple thing like connecting with your breath, children are not even taught something like that. So that's the reason why my foundation started to work in this field. And I would say that giving them these mechanisms, like, for example, rebirthing breathwork, which I practice, a lot of children, we know that who've been drug addicts, for example, that deep into things like this, into addiction, they have benefited from the breathwork because it helps to de-addict as well. And to give you another very, very simple example, when I first started these wellness classes for underprivileged children, there was a child who came to me and she said, Akka, they would call me Akka, and she said, Akka, I cannot close my eyes and be silent. I cannot meditate. And she told me, I live in a tiny house, and in that house, everybody is all around me all the time. That is what I'm used to. If you tell me to close my eyes and sit, I cannot. So I smiled. I said, it's all right. Why don't you try? So the entire class sat down, and this girl sat down also. She closed her eyes. The moment, we connect them to a higher power when we do this. There's no God or anything like that, just the energy all around. We help them to connect to that, the bridge between us and the higher, right? She connected so beautifully. When it was over, I told everybody, open your eyes. All the children got up. They all started to go out. But this child who said, I cannot do this, couldn't even hear anything. She was just continuing to be blissful, putting the chin mudra and sitting in silence. And she had a smile on her face. So that is how much these things can help. And when she came out of it, she was so peaceful and calm. So it's a small example from helping with de-addiction to this. So I think such mechanisms, holistic ones, can really help a lot. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, ma'am. Also, we have a question from the audience. The question is, how is spirituality different from religion?
Oh, that's a very good question. Something I take great pains, to chat to people about. So religion is always about it's a code of conduct, it's something that has evolved in a certain part of the world because it was appropriate for that time. It talks about God, it talks about, morality and things like that. But spirituality, to me, like spirituality it has nothing to do with religion. It is only to do with wanting to be the best possible version of yourself, because you are connecting with a higher power, you're connecting with nature, with the cosmos, the elements, the tools that are placed all around you. It is never to do with any god or any one person or any do's and don'ts. Spirituality, I think, is a more individualistic path. It's a path for the bold, because there are no rules. It's experiential, it's not something you can be taught. You have to feel it within yourself. You have to grow and emerge from your cocoon, see the beautiful world for what it is, and that to me is spirituality.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So now it's time for our Health Bus quiz of the day. The question is, according to Ms. Deepa Rao, what are the three things that are the bridge, for whom bridge is the breath? So breath is the bridge between what three things mentioned by Deepa Rao, ma'am. So you have to go to the Instagram page and put up your answers. We shall announce the winner soon. Don't worry, you guys, this isn't a goodbye. This is just a see you later, tomorrow, again with another episode of Health Shows. Last but not the least, a big shout out to our Oracle volunteers for supporting and taking this event to such massive heights. With this, we sign off for today's event. Thank you, everyone, for being such an amazing audience, and thereby request you to stay connected and participate in our morning session tomorrow, which will be by Shikhan Kirti GK on the topic self-defense. So with this, I wish you all a very great day and good evening. Thank you and see you soon. Thank you so much, Deepa Rao ma'am, for all your wonderful thoughts and helping us. And thank you so much for helping us know the importance of the smaller things that we don't really put any focus on, like our breathing or how we have to put our hands and how to meditate. Inner peace is something that most of us might struggle with, and I hopefully you have shared the insight, and as I've started the session with, you have been the beacon of light which will guide us for the rest of the life, I hope. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you all.